Yes, we are live. Go ahead,
Wonderful.
Rolanda.
Hello and welcome to yet another episode of the Supernova Podcast 2025, where we shine a light on bold ideas, practical solutions that shape the future of Ghana's workforce. I'm your host, Rolanda Agbolo, and today we are tackling one of the most pressing issues of our time, which addresses youth unemployment through workforce readiness and sustainable opportunities in Ghana. We would explore how sustainable development, technology, education, and innovation can open up new opportunities for young people. Joining me for this insightful conversation are Dr. Raj and Miss Caroline, two distinguished guests who bring a wealth of experience in youth empowerment, policy advocacy, and initiatives that promote inclusive growth. Dr. Raj is a passionate advocate for youth empowerment, technology, education, and sustainable development. With extensive experience in advancing social impact initiatives, he focuses on creating opportunities that equip young people with practical skills and promote inclusive growth. He also champions innovations and collaborations that drive sustainable change, and his work reflects a firm belief that technology and education play a major role in transforming lives and building resilient communities. On the other hand, we also have Ms. Caroline Fernandez, who is a project manager and sustainability workforce transition leader who specializes in creating learning frameworks and align with emerging market needs and sustainable economic goals. Caroline is passionate about building future-ready talent pipelines, fostering inclusive learning environments, and driving initiatives that bridge the gap between technology, sustainability, and human potential. Right. We are great to have you all on board today, Dr. Raj and Miss Caroline. And we know we have a lot to hear from you as well. Well, we'll dive in now. You're all welcome once again, and we'd like to hear from you. Could you please, in a minute, give us an introduction of yourselves? Yes, please. We'll start with you, Miss Caroline.
Oh my goodness, you just caught me off guard. I thought you were doing the introductions. Okay. I'm very happy to be here in this space with you, Rolanda and Dr. Raj. I've been waiting for these conversations. We've worked. I don't want to talk more about myself. I think it's important to talk about this program that we are co creating together in Ghana. I'm very excited about this episode because it's been a work in progress for the last 4 to 5 months easily. And I think this conversation will reflect our belief system and our paradigm that we're choosing to look at the way the market is evolving at this current pace in this innovative wave, and how it relates to the Ghana workforce, the Ghana business landscape, and why this program is important. So on that note, back to you, Rolanda. Thank you.
Thank you very much. A few words from you too, Dr. Raj.
Thank you so much, Rolanda. I'm so happy to be with you. And congratulations on this initiative, which is very much needed at this time. The 21st century, the only people who succeed are those who have a self confidence, who have the can do attitude, and who are cheerful, always spreading cheer and showing that they're willing to help in whatever task that needs to be done. In a team work or as individuals, they're always there to help. And that is what employers are looking for. I have been mentoring youth in India and Kenya, Ghana, Nigeria for the last several years. And it is a pleasure to see youth taking the initiative to help other youth get ready for the workforce. There's going to be tremendous opportunities. Africa, Ghana is a place where growth is going to happen. So long it has not been, reaching its full potential. And now Ghana can reach its full potential with using the skills of the youth and the creativity and the spirit of, we want to do something for our country while doing the best we can. So that is what is required, and I'm willing to help. I have about 44 years experience as a engineering and consulting field, and I have been working in sustainable development for the last 15 plus years. So I'd like to share that experience with youth so that they are ready for opportunities and challenges in the 21st century. Thank you.
Wow. Wow. That's great, Dr. Raj. Thank you so much for joining us today. All right. So, as you said earlier, you made mention of mentoring young people to actually reach their potential. And so, I'd like to ask, what are some of the key gaps that you have identified between the skills youth graduates possess and the expectation of employees?
Many times, graduates are in a very theoretical area where they know a lot of theory about the subject. But when it comes to interacting with people, coming to expressing their ideas boldly through oral delivery or through written communications, they lack that skill. And people don't know what's in your brain unless you come out and express it very clearly. This is what I want to do. This is my skill set, and this is how I can help the organization. And unless they do that, people will not hire them and give them all the opportunities that are required for youth to develop their full potential. So this is what is very much needed: a practical attitude, a team spirit, time management, and some soft skills like being there and available when people need you, being punctual. All these simple things, which we call soft skills, are extremely important, which many of them we don't learn while in school or college. We are just focused on our subjects, getting good grades, and graduating. But in the workforce, people, just to, when you enter, maybe they look at the grades a little bit, but after that, they are looking at your attitude. Can you work with others? Can you produce what is needed? Can you take the initiative required to take on tasks that are presented to you? Even if you do not know it completely, be curious enough to ask questions and then be ready to participate and deliver your full potential so that when employer sees that you are adding value to the company, you are producing revenue, they will want to hold on to you, come what may, and they will make sure that your salaries, your compensation is commensurate with what you're producing. So always ask what I can do to help my employer, my teammates, instead of saying, no, how is my salary going to increase? It will increase. You will get what you deserve, but you have to put out what your employer is looking for. What is the best you can do? Then all good things will come. So that is what is required. It is not just knowledge in the brain, but expressing it and being available as a team member to deliver what is required of your client, of your employer. Okay? Thank you.
Those were great gaps that you have mentioned. And I think it's very visible in our day to day. We mostly focus on our theoretical aspects rather than the soft skills that we have, our interactions with people, teamwork, and other stuffs. So, Miss Caroline, do you have anything to add on?
We're probably also integrating a lot of the questions that you had sent our way. So, what I want to build on is that while the academic space is very academic and very theoretical, very conceptual, the market is asking for skills that are practical. And if you look at, some of the top three sectors where Ghana and a lot of other countries in Africa can really begin to prepare, young people, young women, young men can start to prepare, are in the digital space. This is very big and it's not going to go away. The second is agriculture, but in combination with technology. And a lot of these roles are seen to be very boring by our youth nowadays. Like when you talk to them, they want the jobs that are exciting and inspiring and next gen. But there is a lot of value in seeing where these trades and these old sort of ways of building careers can be combined with technology. And that's where agri-tech, that's where smart farming comes in, right? And the other part is about the green space, the green sector. How does it relate to the kind of businesses that are available in Ghana and other countries, and what does it mean for youth? So that's the first point that I wanted to add and share. The second is that stakeholders, all of these stakeholders we have to work together. But how do we work together? Because we have government on one side, they have policies. Some of these policies are not updated in line with the current market, in line with what candidates are wanting. Then on the other side, we have businesses. What is the business demand? What do businesses require from a skill perspective, from a readiness perspective? And finally, you have the contributor, right? The candidates, the young people. And all of these need to play together in the same sandbox. So that's where programs like ours, that is what we are trying to do. We are trying to be the glue. We are trying to say we recognize all these stakeholders, and we want to build in a conversation that is cohesive, that is aligned, so that one, we understand what are the kind of businesses existing, what are the kind of roles. Why is there a gap right now? The gap is because, like Dr. Raj has said, and you also pointed out, is that we have young people coming out of school and college, but they're not ready for a career. They don't have the talent that a company is looking for. They don't have the essential skills, the soft skills. They don't have functional skills. And this is where we want to kind of bridge that gap, right? We want to say we understand that there is a need, we understand that there is a gap, and through the curriculum, create a very practical solution. That's the second part. And finally, the third part is about ensuring that there is a collaboration between private and public in terms of the opportunities. Like, how do we test projects out? How do we create, viability through the prototypes that can come out through, the programs that we are wanting to launch, so that people know that maybe with the ideas that they have, is there something that they can bring forward into the world through their intelligence and through their action. So having the right collaborations, having projects being launched, and testing things out while preparing candidates for a future that is career ready. They have to be career ready. So these are the three things, and I've probably covered most of it in this, but this is what I wanted to share. Thank you.
Wow, that was a lot. I think it was a mixture of almost everything. Thank you very much, Miss Caroline. All right, then. Thank you. We'll also come back again to you, Dr. Raj. How do you think our current education and training systems could be reformed to better equip youth for today and tomorrow's job market?
Let me give you an example to make this very clear. When I joined the workforce in the mid 1970s, last century, I came with a research background. I was doing my PhD, finishing my PhD. There, this company was doing some practical projects to produce oil from a rock called oil shale, which the consumer needs, which the market needs. So within a few months, I learned what the business of the company is, what the client wants, and I started learning on the job because many of these things I had not learned in school. I started talking to my colleagues who are more practical, experienced people with 10 years, 15 years experience. I was just my first year in that job. But I understood from them what the requirements are. I started talking to the client, understanding their needs. So once you understand their needs and give them what they want, they just love it. I started taking initiative instead of thinking, waiting for a job to come to me, for my boss to say, Raj, here's a project. I would say, hey, I see that our company is doing these kinds of projects. This is where I can help with my skills. Can I help you? So in a little while, I saw I was working on several projects, which people knew my interest. And then they started giving me these interesting projects. And I started learning on the job so much. I could, you know, read up whatever I didn't know. And so this constant learning desire, learning from the internet, learning from books, learning from your colleagues who have done these kinds of things before, and taking initiative. That is number one. You cannot wait for things to come to you. You have to ask how I can be helpful here, what I can do. And once you do that, people recognize it, and then you will be the one always in demand. You don't have to worry, but will I have this job or not? They will say, hey, this person is so valuable for the company. And you understand that the company makes profit only when the revenues are significantly higher than the costs. So, how can I reduce the costs of what I'm doing it more efficiently while producing the job that we have to give to our employer? Because my employer was employed by another big company to do a certain things, and they asked me to do it. So you have to do that. And one thing is thinking for yourself. Be innovative. Don't say, oh, I don't know. If you don't know, ask questions, be curious, learn, and think. Use your brain that God has given us to always learn, think, and produce what is required on the job. So if you take those kinds of initiatives with constant learning, learning from colleagues at work, and then you work as a team with others to get the job done, people will love you and they will say, this person is indispensable for the company. Okay, this is what our youth need to do to be hired by companies. And if they are doing very well and the company they're presently working is not tapping all their full potential, they can always go to another company where their potential can be fully used. So I moved around in the first few years of my career till I got lots of practical experience and lots of self confidence. Then I could start my own company. Then I launched into my company. So these are the things you can do when you're young and be of value to whoever your employer is. Okay.
Great. So, listening to you attentively, I realized that even my questing shows that with our current education systems and then our training systems, they might not be things that would there might not be systems that will help us find our career paths, but it's our attitude towards work that is going to give us that change that we are looking for. And so our education system is as it is, cannot we can't make any much change to it. Our training systems cannot be made much changes to, but it's up to us to open ourselves up to learn more. And then even if the systems are not working for our good, we can better ourselves in other means as well. Thank you so much, Dr. Raj. I think this is a learning process for myself too, and for all those who are listening. Kindly pay attention to every little words that are being spoken here. And it's going to help all of us because we are all young people fighting for our careers. All right, thank you so much. Miss Caroline, I'd like to ask, how can countries leverage on areas such as green jobs? I think you mentioned that already. So let me quickly move from that one because you made mention of combining technology, education, green economy, and all those things to be able to be innovative. Okay, so as a strong believer of sustainable job creation, in your view, what sectors hold the greatest promise for creating long-term employment opportunities for young people? What are
Yeah.
some of the sustainable job creation, the sectors that are open for more opportunities for young people?
Yeah, so even earlier on we had talked about this. So the three sectors, which is agriculture, the second being in the green sector, and then finally the whole digital landscape. But even there's a lot that needs to be whittle down. We have to niche down into specifics, because there is each one of them has a wide array of ways it can go. So I think that, even Dr. Raj put this very succinctly. I think we have to take the initiative. So our youth have to be encouraged to start to become self-aware, do the inner work, do the personal development, take courses like the ones that we are offering and others will offer, to know where your strengths lie. The other thing is about things that you may not know. And it's okay not to know, but to stay there is where the problem lies. So, how do you develop those skills, right? Um, the other thing that I believe is very important is, for young people, you have the energy, right? You're at an age where you can experiment, you can try things out. Even if you fail, don't be afraid to do that, but you have to put yourself out there. Find mentors in the sector, talk to people, ask them questions. There's a lot of value in building a network, and LinkedIn by far is one of the easiest ways to do this. Just being active on LinkedIn, creating those hashtags, looking out for people. It's very easy in the people section. Look out for people in your sector and start to reach out to them. And this might, also be like a mini LinkedIn course, but it is value, because just reaching out to people and telling them, how much you value what they're doing in that space and whether they can give you time. And let me be honest, like, this has always worked for me. When I have reached out to someone who's a complete stranger in a sector that I want to learn, everyone, when you reach out to people and say, I need some help, I need to have a conversation, you'll very rarely have someone refuse you, you know so even that first call with someone in your sector that you're interested in, whether it is the green sector, whether it is agri-tech, or whether it is a digital space or any other space, do your homework before you reach out to people. Find out, create a set of questions, and you can even send them the questions, right? So, all in all, and this is something that has been coming through in today's podcast as well, be prepared. It's very important to be prepared with your research. Today, there is a dearth of information. You just have to go on Google. You can go on Chat GPT, ask questions, build the kind of things that you require. Whether it is, the your hygiene list of what kind of courses you can take. Reach out, build your mentor list, meet up with them once in every 1 or 2 months. Let them know, because this is how you build your relationships. And oh, it looks like we've lost Rolanda. But for the sake of our viewers, let's continue. So this is how we build our relationships, and people do business with people that they know, they like, and they trust, right? So it's very important to keep showing up, to be present, to invest in your growth, and to be consistent. I think there is a certain sacredness to discipline that a lot of times is misunderstood. um, just doing small things every day towards the goals that you want to achieve, even if they might seem small. Apply them, and it's very easy for us to make excuses when everything is going wrong. I can understand. Sometimes I also feel like this, but we must stay consistent, we must stay disciplined around our goals, because that's the only way that we start to move forward. uh, Doc, for the benefit of this being live, is there anything you'd like to build on where this is concerned?
Yeah, the one thing I'd really like to stress on what you mentioned, Caroline, is the importance of networking and finding mentors. So, this network of fellow professionals, and now there are so many associations. Like when I was a student, also, I joined my Society of Mining Engineers, which is a group of engineers all over the US, and some of these organizations international, where you meet people in different jobs, different kinds of things, but in the sector of your interest in mining. So when I lost a job once, all I had to do was within a week, I made a few phone calls to my network, and I found out within a week that there is a job right down the area that I could be of maximum use. available in a different part of. I was in Canada briefly, and I just called up and they said, one of these guys in Chicago is looking for a person like you. I called him. Immediately he said, come, hop on the plane, come for an interview. I just came. He says, wow, I really like what you have, what you're offering. So when can you join? So this company said, sorry, we cannot, hire you if you can't stay in Canada. I said, no, I have to go back to the US. So they said, here is 2 months' salary. But within 2 weeks, I got a new job doing more exciting things that I wanted to do. So, like that, every failure is a stepping stone to greater success. It is your attitude that's most important. If you think, oh my God, why did this happen to me? And you become a victim, you're lost. So, you just say, what good came out of this? And how do I do my best? Always get up in the morning thinking this is going to be a great day. I am going to do my best and everything good will happen. That attitude to work every day is most important. And that shows in your face. When you go to work, people say, hey, this person is full of energy, is disciplined to get the work done. And so that is important. Your networking is important and learning. Wherever I felt a gap, I went to the local college there. I was a PhD, but I went to a college to learn a subject. I had so many years of education, but I said, this area I don't know, which I need at my work. So I took evening classes, 2 hours a week or 3 hours a week. I learned a new subject, which helped me in my job tremendously, which helped me in my career tremendously. So all these opportunities for constant learning, using your network, and doing your best every day with full of cheer, full of confidence is what is required by all employers. If you do that, you will have challenging jobs throughout your career and you will have fun, you will make an impact while you make a good living. Okay?
Thank you so much. I'm sorry, my line just cut off, and then I had to quickly join on another um, machine. So thank you so much, Dr. Raj, for all the insights. I've heard of consistent learning. You are never too old to learn. Every time you should be ready to learn, and then be have a teachable spirit as well. Be calm enough to listen. And that's one thing that I think would actually drive the youth to their purpose if we actually do that. Okay, so I would like to ask Dr. Raj and Miss Caroline, anyone can start with their answers first. But I'd like to ask, what is actually the reason why some of these sectors, which Dr. Miss Caroline you mentioned, are unable to employ the young people of today? What is really the major issue? Why some sectors that you have mentioned are unable to get the youth on board?
Go ahead, Doc.
Again, yeah. So the private sector is constantly looking for people with energy and ideas because they know that people are their main resource to produce a profit. So you have to know what is happening in your sector. For example, I was in the mining sector, and when I had to leave the western part of the United States where there were a lot of wonderful mining jobs, I came because my wife had a wonderful opportunity in Chicago. And I was doing something, but I said, I can't continue the same mining projects I was doing, previously. So I adapted myself to learn some new areas, and then the environmental sector was just opening up. So I learned, took some courses, did some learning myself, and joined that sector. So you have to be very flexible, creative, and always see what the marketplace needs. Marketplace is constantly changing. There's nothing static about the marketplace. The demands of consumers, demands of society are changing, and companies are changing to meet that demand. So you have to be thinking of career changes or minor changes to adjust yourself to the market, because market is not going to change because you say I want to do only this, then you are the loser. So you have to understand the marketplace, what the private sector needs. And if you are in LinkedIn and other things, you see, what the demand is in the marketplace. Then how do I get myself ready for that? I can do weekends learning. I can take some courses online. I can do this to adjust, because all the college gives you is some critical thinking, how to use your brain effectively, and how you use it to meet the demands of the market is up to you. So if you do that, know what the private sector is doing, and it changes constantly. Like right now, a few years ago, 15, 20 years ago, the word sustainability was not there on the horizon. Now everybody talks about sustainability, net zero energy, net zero water. Means companies are looking to save on energy costs, on water costs, and make sure that whatever is built is sustainable on the long run, not the short term. So these are new things that are coming up in the marketplace. So you have to learn, adapt yourself, and then you always will find a challenging job which you can make an impact. And the more you do that, the more opportunities are available for you. Your life improves, your impact on society improves, and then you have time to give back to others, like I've been doing for many years. Since I was established in my career, then I had time to give to others. That gave me a lot of happiness. Thank you.
Rolanda, you're on mute.
Thank you so much, Dr. Raj. And Miss Caroline, you can move on with your submission, please.
Yeah, so I think what Dr. Raj has said kind of sums up a very big part of the response to what you're addressing, is the gap between the talent that's required and the available existing uh, skill index, if I may call it that. And while that is one part of it, I think some of the other things that stop the youth, and the both of you will probably agree, is the perception and the reality of not having the money and the wherewithal in order to attend a course, something that will provide credentials and a certification for participation, for better participation in the job market. That's the second thing. And then the other is with regards to the infrastructure, like even with our program last year. And I should have said this in the beginning. I was thinking about it, but we kind of took off to let everyone know that Rolanda was one of our certified students through our STEM program last year for 100 young women. And today, as a part of the outcome of that, one of the outcomes is she has launched her own project with her co-founder for other youth, and they're holding conferences to help guide young people and shepherd them. And I'm saying all of that because we faced a lot of difficulty last year because of not having the internet, not having electricity. And these are some of the basics that are required in order to sometimes learn things like coding and AI and machine learning, which are not going to be nice to learn. We are in an era where AI is a need to learn skill right now. And I can, very openly tell you that I am learning these skills at my age. Even though my son is going to college, I am putting myself through these courses because I want to stay relevant. I want to be able to, add and contribute to whichever place I'm going to be working in the next few months. So learning doesn't stop, regardless of what age we are, and we have to understand what the market requires. We cannot say, you know, I'm in the education space, therefore I don't need to learn this. We are going to become obsolete if we do that. So it's very important to understand market demands, find out what kind of skills are required, make the effort. Sometimes you can ask for sponsorships if you're asked is good and you have a backing of showing that you'll really put in the effort for specific courses. And also, it is working with the government. I see, Dr. Raj, we have had this conversation several times over the last couple of years with the programs where we are encouraging our programs, our local representatives to talk to the government, talk to private sector, reach out and start building those relationships. Because otherwise, it's very difficult to meet these goals of having more people who have the skill sets, more people who are talent ready in order to move not themselves and their community, but the country forward as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Miss Caroline. That was also great. Um, as you mentioned earlier, the STEAM program for 100 women in Africa was a very great one for me. And I think that was how come I thank you very much for mentioning that as well. My friend and I also started an initiative for junior high school students who are going to the senior high, and it has really been of a great help to me because there we also find opportunities where we can also expand our knowledge to other people. So we never stop learning, as you have all said. Thank you so much. But I would like to ask, now that we have had all that we need, the gaps that are available in the workforce, and then our skill sets that we are also supposed to develop, how or what advice would you give to the young person who is discouraged in our current workforce?
I would say always keep an open mind, learn, learn, and learn, because God has given you a brain. And the more you pack in the brain, the more it can help you. It has infinite capacity. And your attitude is so, so important. Hard work and smart work are very important. For example, when I was running my own company, I saw that there's a lot of legal liability in the construction projects I was doing. So, although I ran my company from 7 a.m. to 3:34 p.m. to the construction crews left, then I would go for 4 years of my life. When I was in my 30s, I went to law school in the evening. I had already my PhD, but I went to law school because I wanted to learn about the law and what liabilities are there, how I can manage it. So I studied law for 4 years in the evening, got my law license, already had my engineering license. So this really expanded the horizons I could do. With my law degree and knowledge, I launched a company in India, which was very hard for me to even think of a few years ago. But I understood how the laws in India, how the laws in the US all work together so that we do projects in India, the money can be brought to the US, and how and hiring people there works. Everything I learned. And more questions I asked, more questions of my friends. And this process of learning never ever stops. And your attitude is the most important thing. Never give up. That's a very, very important requirement. If you give up, you're lost. Every day is a new day to do your best. And what happens is not fully under your control. Have faith in God, but do your best every day. And doing your best means, what is required in your workplace, but what I can do to prepare myself for the ever changing marketplace. So I'm learning new skills where I can use those skills in doing a better job or in changing my job if I had to. There's a famous saying that Bill Clinton, the President of the United States from 1993 to 2000, said, now in the 21st century, people will be changing their careers 5 to 6, 7 times in their career of 30, 45 years. Previously, the 20th century, people stayed on a job for 30 years. Those days are gone. Companies don't work that way. So you have to be flexible. And if you see, what you're doing right now, the market is not very strong for that. You tool yourself for another job.
I seem to have
Slightly
lost
different,
you.
but you're using it Thank you. Yes, Rolanda.
I think her screen is frozen. Rolanda, can you hear
Caroline, you
me?
want to add something before
Yes, yes, I
Rolanda
do.
can
I
go?
do. I think, oftentimes the simplest things are taken for granted, because life is wrought with ups and downs. It's not going to all be easy. In fact, that is really where, we get to test our courage, we get to test our true intentions, we get to test our endurance, like how much staying power do we have. And this doesn't mean being stubborn about something. We have to understand, like you said, Doc, there are certain things which are out of our control, and that's fine. But what is within our control, and having the emotional and also, dare I say, on this podcast, the spiritual maturity to understand that challenges are a way for us to rise in life, and to step up, and not to, be okay. Rolanda is coming back, and not to shy away from it just because it's this small bump in the road. And I will probably be bold enough to say that all of us on this call, including those watching, will agree that we all have challenges in life. There is no one who doesn't experience challenges, right? But like you said, Dog, having the right attitude, but also having some daily practices. It's very important to have anchors. And I say this from a coaching perspective and someone who has been a soft skill trainer for many years. Having a set of anchors. For example, my anchors are, you know, getting some sunshine in the morning when I wake up. It's very, very important. And there are medicinal values to, getting sunshine in the morning. Then prayer and meditation. These are anchors for me. Journaling, finding even the smallest things to be grateful for. And this might sound very woo and simple, but they have a profound effect on our body physiologically, like our hormones and how we feel inside. And it also raises and expands our state of consciousness, which means that, sure, yesterday things were like really bad, but today we wake up and we get to live another day. We get to show up, we get to look at a certain problem in a different way, a different lens, right? So these are some of the inner development that happens as a result, because if everything is easy, we don't have the opportunity to grow like this. We don't have an opportunity to stretch ourselves, challenge ourselves, and really say, you know what, when I look back, I had all that, but now it seems like, where did it go? I was able to work through it, right? So you get stronger, and with every time you're also developing a muscle of strength and resilience. So those are some things that I would like to add, which I believe work tremendously well.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your insightful um, submissions. They were really great. Okay, then. I would like to ask us our last but not the least question, where I'd like to know, are there some of the initiatives that are available for the young people which can help bridge that gap between our skill set and then the workforce? Are there some initiatives like yourself? I think this will be an opportunity for you to also come up with a Supernova project which we are handling together. So you
Right.
can give us a highlight on that. And then Dr. Raj can also give us some initiatives that he's handling that has helped bridge the gap between skill set and then the workforce.
Go ahead, Doc. You can go.
Yeah, the thing is, we have to understand that every day is a new day to learn and do better. So never worry about the future. That'll take care of itself. When the future comes, you'll know how to handle it. Don't worry about the past. That doesn't get you anything. You learn from the past. But today, in the present moment, how am I being effective? What am I doing to help myself? There's a good saying God helps those who help themselves. And for me, just best story is Abraham Lincoln, one of the best presidents of the United States. He was born in a farm. Through self learning, he became a lawyer. He failed many times, but never gave up. And because of his relentless pursuit, he pursued and became the president of the United States at a very, very tough time in the 1800s. And he pulled the whole country together. He's remembered centuries later because that's the kind of character you need. A person who never gives up, constant learning and saying what I can do to improve myself and be a contributor to society. How can I improve my community? So those things are very important because if you just think about yourself, you get depressed many times. You just see outside so many other people who are not as fortunate as me. How can I help them? I'm so fortunate, being grateful for what you have. All these things are essential qualities for any young person to be resilient, constantly learn, use their skill sets to find the proper job and then do well in the job and also find satisfaction not just from the job but from friends, family, and giving back to society. And people think, oh, I don't have money to give. You can give your time to a person in need. You can give your talents. If you're good at computers, other person doesn't know how to use it. You spend a few minutes. If you spend an hour or 2 hours, 3 hours a week and help them, that gives you so much happiness. So that, and if you help others, somebody else will help you. So that is the attitude you need to have, just not taking from society, but being a contributor to society. And once you do that, your sense of happiness, your sense of fulfillment is there while you are providing for your family and having self dignity through a good job that you're working on. Those are my final thoughts for young people. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Raj. Miss Caroline, please, you can go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. So uh, I'm so pleased that the Supernova program has come together, and I'm so pleased and thankful that people, including yourself, Rolanda, are people who are part of our program for the last year, and this shows that this is also part of relational value, but also belief in the value of these kind of systems and programs that we are creating. So Supernova is that kind of a program that we have been talking about on today's episode, because we recognize that there is a skill gap, and that we recognize that there are people that want jobs but don't know the way. And by providing the right information, the right frameworks, curriculum that is practical, as well as ensuring that they participate in their own learning while they certify, can provide better scope for them to find jobs in companies in Ghana and beyond. Because these skills are not just about getting trained in technical training, but it is also skills, communication, and all of the other things that Dr. Raj has spoken about and articulated. And we're very excited and very grateful to be doing this. We have a wonderful team. It's been front-ended by the Young Urban Women's Movement in Ghana, which has over 4,000 young women that we serve, in four different sectors across. They're going to be providing, apart from, their presence formally, they have training centers and infrastructure. And we have other people who have graduated, just like Rolanda, who were from University of Ghana School of Economics, who are part of this, who will be talking to clients, talking to companies, letting them know that this is a program that will help them speed up their hiring by giving them participants and prospective candidates who are ready versus candidates who are blindly just walking in. And we are going to be providing that handholding, that guidance, so that we are the glue that helps this move along in a much streamlined way. And a huge shout out and a lot of thanks to Dr. Raj, Doc, for being such a wonderful human being, uh, always been available to guide us and support us over the last couple of years through our programs, by being sincere with your feedback and always having, like you said, that can do attitude. So we just want to thank you also for always helping us, stay the course and be sincere ourselves about why we are in this, why are we doing this, and what's the benefit. Because there are a lot of huge outward benefits, but the inward are usually not visible and they are tremendous. So those are some words. Rolanda, you're doing a great job. We're very proud of you for championing this program, for leading this podcast, and all the marketing efforts that you've been doing for Supernova.
Wonderful. I again want to thank Rolanda and the young people, the young women in Ghana, because women are our future. And while you're doing this program, always have the conversations with employers to see what skill sets they are looking for. And then you're having conversations with people who want to learn and find jobs. So you become the bridge between the employer, what they are looking for, and the students, what skills they are looking for. So you give them the appropriate skills so they immediately find placement. And that is very, very key to this program. The more people who get trained and get placed will be the ambassadors for the program to continue for a long, long, long time and help more and more youth in Ghana. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you
Keep
too
up the
so
good work.
much. Thank you. God bless you. And so I think this is a call to action for anyone who is also listening to us today. We can't do it alone in Ghana. We have our leaders outside of Ghana, and then they are helping us with this, but we can't do it alone. If you are listening to us and you are ready to join us with your skill set, are ready to help us with your anything that you can help us with, we are open to anything that you have for us. And so would like you to also reach us on my contact number, which is 0534364614. You can reach out to me if you want to be a volunteer to help progress the project for Supernova. And also, would also like Miss Caroline to also, I don't know if you have the website for the Young Urban Women's Movement. If that's fine, you can also help us with
Yes,
that.
of course. Of course. And we can drop the details, once the recording is over, in the comments and in the video as well. We can drop the details and you can reach out to us even on LinkedIn. We're fairly active as well. Thank you so much for
All the
doing such
best.
a good job. All the
All the
best.
best for the program.
Thank you for
And
everyone
I'm
who's going to
praying
be
for your
watching.
success every day. Okay? Thank you.
All
Yes.
right.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thank you all so much for tuning in for the Supernova Project podcast episode 2. Have a great evening. And thank you so much, Dr. Raj and Miss Caroline, for your time.
Thank you.
All right.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.